Alright folks, get ready because we're diving headfirst into the absolute mess that is PetroSA, South Africa's state-owned oil and gas company, and let me tell you, it's a train wreck of epic proportions. Picture this, a company meant to be the backbone of our energy sector, swimming in crude oil dreams, but instead it's drowning in debt, dodgy deals, and a stench of corruption so thick you could cut it with a blunt braai knife. This isn't just a company falling apart, it's a national disgrace, a textbook case of how the ANC government's failures have left us in the dark, literally and figuratively. So, grab a mug of hot coffee, because this is going to be a long, wild ride, and I'm not holding back. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? PetroSA, the Petroleum Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, was supposed to be our golden ticket to energy security. Exploration, production, marketing of oil and gas. Sounds like a plan, right? A state-owned enterprise that could rival the big boys like Petrobras or Petronas, ensuring South Africa's fuel pumps stay full and our economy keeps chugging along. But instead of delivering on that promise, PetroSA has become a poster child for mismanagement, with a side of scandal that's so brazen it's almost comical, if it weren't costing us billions. I mean, really, how does a company with such a critical mandate end up in a hole so deep it makes the Grand Canyon look like a pothole on the N1? PetroSA is a state-owned company tasked with ensuring the country's energy security through the exploration, production, and marketing of oil and gas. Its core role involves finding and extracting oil and gas resources, refining them into usable fuels like petrol and diesel, and selling these products to keep South Africa's economy running. It operates key assets like the gas-to-liquids refinery in Mossel Bay, though it's been mothballed since 2020. And manages strategic fuel reserves through the Strategic Fuel Fund. PetroSA's mandate also includes reducing South Africa's reliance on imported fuel by boosting local production and refining capacity, which, in theory, should stabilize fuel prices and support industries like transport and manufacturing. Over the past decade, PetroSA's been bleeding cash faster than a township's spaza shop during a power cut. Let's talk numbers, because the figures are staggering. By 2020, PetroSA was technically insolvent, according to reports. And yet, somehow, it's been kept on life support by none other than ESCOM, our equally beleaguered power utility. Posts on X have screamed about this for years, with one user, and simply Meg ZCPT, laying it bare in 2023. PetroSA is bankrupt since 2020, and we have been sitting in darkness and paying ludicrous electricity rates because ESCOM has been keeping PetroSA alive. Billions down the drain. Can you feel the frustration there? I sure can, and it's not just hot air. Bungani reported in May 2025 that PetroSA's covert bailout, funded by ESCOM and, by extension, the electricity users, may have injected as much as 500 million rands into the company in the past financial year. R500 million rands, mates, to prop up a sinking ship. And for what? Bungani's expose in May 2025 peeled back the curtain on a deal so dodgy it's almost laughable. In June 2024, 2 oil tankers, each carrying $35 million, equivalent to 650 million rands worth of diesel, rocked up in Mossel Bay, only to find PetroSA's storage tanks full. What did they do? They sold one cargo to a little-known company called NACO Energy at a discount, without a formal contract or payment guarantees. No contract, no credit checks! Just hand over 933 million rands worth of diesel to a company nobody's heard of. Almost a year later, NACO still owed PetroSA 825 million rands, and PetroSA took a 19 million rands loss on the deal. And then, to top it all off, NACO's fuel was part of another fiasco, a 11 billion rands deal for chemically adulterated unleaded petrol that was pulled from the market after 6 months, because it was staining petrol pumps and damaging car paintwork. Garages were locking out fuel nozzles, and PetroSA's reputation took a nosedive. But wait, it gets worse. The Auditor-General reported in 2024 that PetroSA lost 11.5 million rands selling diesel to a fictitious company. A fictitious company? Are you kidding me? Who's running this show? A bunch of amateurs playing Monopoly with our tax money? And yet, PetroSA's chief operations officer at the time, Sesiko Magadla, had the gall to go on SABC in April 2024 and claim the NACO fuel passed all tests, despite internal evidence to the contrary. Sure, Sesiko, and I've got a beachfront property in Soweto to sell you. Here's a question for you. How does a company tasked with securing South Africa's energy future get away with this kind of nonsense? I'll tell you how. Because the ANC government has been asleep at the wheel, or worse, complicit. Let's not mince words here. The ANC's track record on state-owned enterprises is a masterclass in how to run a country into the ground. Back in 2004, 11 million rands of PetroSA's public money was funneled to the ANC's election campaign through a shady deal involving an ANC-affiliated company called Imvume Management. That's not ancient history, it's a pattern. Fast forward to today, and we've got ministers like Gwede Mantache and Kegozi Ensho Ramogopa, both from the ANC's left wing, reportedly scrapping over who gets to control PetroSA and the Strategic Fuel Fund. Control for what? To fix it? Or to keep the gravy train rolling? Speaking of Mantache, the man's name keeps popping up like a bad rash. He's been accused of conflicts of interest, with ex-posts like Wayne Doves in May 2025 asking, how is it that Gwede Mantache and his cronies at PetroSA remain ensconced in their positions? The company's drowning in debt to traders like Gunvor, who've stopped delivering cargo because PetroSA can't pay up, and yet they're dishing out fat paychecks to the top brass. It's like giving the captain of the Titanic a bonus while the ship's sinking. Now, let's talk about the South African National Petroleum Company, SNPC, because this is where the ANC tries to sell us a fairy tale. In September 2024, they launched SNPC, merging PetroSA, EGAS, and the Strategic Fuel Fund, with big promises of energy security and efficiency. Sounds great, doesn't it? Except it's a rebrand of a broken system. The SNPC is supposed to rebuild refining capacity, which has plummeted from 80% to 35% of South Africa's fuel needs since 2010. But how do you trust a new entity when PetroSA, its biggest component, is a financial black hole? MoneyWeb reported that SNPC's ambitions could attract $2 billion to $3 billion in foreign investment, but with PetroSA's track record of failed negotiations, like the botched Total Energies deal, and dodgy contracts. Who's going to throw money at this? Here's a retention hook for you. Stick with me, because it gets even more infuriating. PetroSA is not just failing us on fuel, it's dragging down ESCOM, which is already on its knees. ESCOM's been forced to buy diesel from PetroSA at inflated prices. And why? Because the Department of Minerals and Petroleum refused to give ESCOM a fuel wholesale license. That's right, the government's own rules are keeping ESCOM tethered to PetroSA's corrupt supply chain. Ex-user and Bongles. Put it bluntly, in 2023, PetroSA blew 24 billion rands. They only survived to sell diesel to ESCOM. They have been reduced to a mere middleman. Powerful interests are scoring from the mess. And those powerful interests? You don't need a PhD to guess who's benefiting while we're stuck with load shedding and sky-high electricity bills. So, what's the cost of all this? Beyond the billions lost, it's the erosion of trust. Every time PetroSA pulls a stunt like the NACO energy fiasco, it's a slap in the face to every South African who's just trying to keep the lights on and the car running. We're not an oil state, as much as the government wishes we were. Our refineries are either shut down or limping along, and PetroSA's gas-to-liquids plant in Mossel Bay? It's out of reserves, with decommissioning liabilities estimated at 9.7 billion rands. Yet the ANC keeps pumping money into this black hole, hoping for a miracle. Here's an engagement question. When was the last time you filled up your tank and wondered where all this money's going? Because I'll tell you, it's not just fuel you're paying for, it's a system rotten to the core. And what's the ANC doing about it? They're launching shiny new companies like SNPC, while the same old problems fester. The South African Revenue Service, SARS, has been screaming about fuel smuggling and tax evasion, costing the fiscus 4 billion rands a year, and yet PetroSA's own dealings are so opaque you'd think they're allergic to transparency. Let's pause for a second. Imagine you're running a business, right? Would you let your company sell millions in product to a nobody without a contract? Would you keep a CEO who's signing off on deals that tank your reputation? Of course not. So why is PetroSA allowed to operate like this? Why is the ANC government, which is supposed to serve us, letting this slide? It's because corruption isn't just a bug in their system, it's the feature. From the 11 million rands election scandal in 2004 to the 933 million rands NACO debacle in 2024, it's the same story, different day. Here's another hook to keep you with me. We're not done yet. There's a glimmer of hope, but it's faint, and it's up to us to make it real. The Amabungani Center for Investigative Journalism has been fighting tooth and nail to get PetroSA to disclose its tender documents. They're arguing, rightly, that public access to these documents could stop deals like NACO's before they spiral out of control. But PetroSA's digging in its heels, claiming disclosure would erode the bidder's ability to compete. Yeah, right. More like it would harm their ability to keep the dodgy deals under wraps. So what do we do about this mess? Here's where you come in, because this isn't just my fight. It's ours. The ANC's had decades to get this right, and they've failed us at every turn. PetroSA is not just a company, it's a symbol of everything that's gone wrong under their watch. We can't let them keep sweeping this under the rug. Start by sharing this story. Tell your mates, your family, your colleagues. Get them as angry as you are right now. Demand accountability. Write to your MP, tweet at the ministers, make some noise. And if you want to dig deeper, check out Amabungani's reports. They're doing the Lord's work exposing this rot. Here's my call to action. Don't just sit there fuming. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it far and wide. It costs you nothing, takes 2 seconds, and sends a message that we're not okay with this. Join the channel membership to support more content like this, because trust me, there's plenty more to uncover. If you're feeling generous, drop a super thanks donation, or at least let the ads play for 30 seconds. Every bit helps keep the truth coming. And don't forget to comment below. What's your take on PetroSA's shenanigans? Have you had enough of the ANC's excuses? Let's get this conversation going, because silence is what lets corruption thrive. This is our country, our money, our future. It's time we took it back. So, go on, hit those buttons, share this video, and let's make some bloody noise.